Not 1,000, not 10,000, a million. And it's hiding in plain sight. Right now, in drawers, jars, even under the cushions of sofas. One of the rarest Lincoln pennies ever made could be sitting quietly among your everyday change, waiting for someone who knows its secret to find it. The year is 1984. The United States is booming. Coins are minted by the millions, yet a single error slipped through the cracks, unnoticed, unrecorded, and now legendary. A penny with no mint mark. Simple, ordinary at first glance. But there's a reason collectors across the nation are willing to pay a fortune for this piece of history. This isn't just a coin. It's a ticket to a story, a mystery that could change someone's life overnight. Imagine a coin so rare that even seasoned collectors pause in disbelief when they see it. The 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is that coin. And here's what makes it extraordinary. Normally, pennies have a tiny D or S stamped near Lincoln's shoulder, marking the Denver or San Francisco mint. But the ones minted without a mark? They are anomalies, almost magical and extremely scarce. Out of millions produced that year, only a handful exist. This is where most people stop seeing pennies as money. For them, it's just copper. But for the few who know, a simple 1984 no-mint mark penny is a key worth over $1 million. Think about it. One coin, smaller than your thumb, more valuable than a house in many parts of America. And the crazy part? You could be holding it in your hand without even knowing. First, hold it up under the light. On a genuine 1984 no-mint mark penny, there will be absolutely no letter under Lincoln's bust on the obverse side. No D, no S. Just the smooth surface of history staring back at you. The detail is subtle. The relief, the shine, even the wear over time, all tell the story. The reverse side? It's the classic Lincoln Memorial, unremarkable to the untrained eye. But for those who understand, every detail confirms its authenticity. Collectors will tell you stories of coins found in pocket change, in old jars, and even in rolls forgotten in bank drawers. One moment it's a penny, the next moment it's $1 million discovery. That thrill, the rush of realizing you've been holding something extraordinary, is what drives people to dig through drawers, wallets, and dusty coin albums. It's the thrill of possibility, of stumbling upon history, and history matters. You see, every coin tells a story, and the 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent has a tale that begins with a minting error, then disappears into obscurity. But for those patient enough to search, persistent enough to look past ordinary change, it emerges. The emotions, the excitement, the disbelief of seeing $1 million coin in your hand. It's unlike anything else. Grading plays a huge role in value. The better the condition, the higher the price. A near-perfect 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent can fetch astronomical sums, while worn examples are still worth thousands. It's all about spotting the difference, understanding what makes this coin rare, and having the knowledge to recognize it before anyone else does. That moment of doubt, of hope, it's electric. And then, finally, your eyes land on it. No mint mark. Slightly shinier, slightly different. It feels heavier in your hand. That's when the reality hits. You're holding something extraordinary, something priceless. Every few minutes, new collectors discover a previously unknown coin, and suddenly their lives change. One phone call to a dealer, one auction, one appraisal, and the mundane becomes monumental. That's the power of knowing. The power of spotting the 1984 no-mint mark penny before anyone else. And it's not just about money. It's about the story. This coin represents a moment in time, a flaw turned into fortune. The very minting process that produced millions of ordinary pennies also gave birth to a legend. And legends like this? They command attention, respect, and yes, unbelievable value. Look everywhere. Check old coin rolls, jars, drawers, wallets, any place that hasn't been disturbed for decades. Hold each penny up to the light. Examine the area under Lincoln's bust. Feel for the weight. Notice the shine. Every detail counts. The right eye, the right touch, the right knowledge. It all adds up. And remember, this is no ordinary investment. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Few coins in history have inspired such awe, such disbelief. Some collectors have waited years, even decades, for a chance like this. And yet, the coin remains out there, elusive, waiting for the person who's paying attention. Imagine the look on a collector's face when they realize the coin in their hand is worth more than most people make in a lifetime. One glance, one verification, one expert opinion, and suddenly, it's not just a penny. It's $1 million revelation. The beauty of the 1984 no mint Mark Lincoln cent is that it's democratic. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you've been collecting for years or never looked at a penny closely in your life. Knowledge changes everything. One careful look, one moment of attention, and history can be yours. It's hard to believe something so small can carry so much weight. But that's the power of rarity. That's the power of understanding. That's the power of being in the right place at the right time with the right penny in your hand. Collectors across the country dream of this coin. They chase it with passion, with patience, with persistence. And the reason is simple. The reward isn't just financial. It's the thrill, the story, the history, the knowledge that you've discovered something no one else has. That sense of triumph is priceless. And yet, in dollar terms, it can literally be $1 million. Even the smallest detail matters. Slight variations in color, minor differences in strike, the exact location of Lincoln's features, all of it can confirm authenticity. And authenticity here is everything. The genuine coin is rare, celebrated, and coveted. The fake? Worthless. Knowing the difference is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. And remember, fortune favors the patient. The more you search, the more attentive you are, the higher your chances of finding the coin that could change everything. Hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of ordinary pennies are handled every day, but only a few carry the secret. Only a few hide the potential of $1 million. I found it. The 1984 no mint Mark Lincoln cent. The one worth $1 million. The disbelief, the awe, the envy. It's a moment that becomes a story, a legend in your own life. The coin's journey is incredible. From an unremarkable minting table to the hands of everyday Americans, it waited decades. Forgotten in drawers, overlooked in jars, underestimated by those who didn't know its secret. But now, you have the knowledge. You know what to look for. You know that a single penny could hold unimaginable value. And that's the point. The next time you reach into your pocket, check your drawer, or open an old coin roll, remember, ordinary pennies hide extraordinary secrets. And this one, the 1984 no mint Mark Lincoln cent, is the ultimate secret. We're diving into the mysterious story of the 1990 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin so rare, so shocking, collectors are scrambling across the country just to get their hands on it. It starts with something most people overlook every day, a penny. 1 cent. It jingles in your pocket, sits forgotten in jars, or gets tossed in cash registers. But among millions of ordinary pennies, a handful hold a secret that could make a person a millionaire overnight. The 1990 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of those treasures. And right now, it's hiding in plain sight. The answer lies in its rarity, an anomaly in the U.S. mint process that few people noticed at the time. This coin was never supposed to exist in large numbers. The mint mark, or rather the absence of one, makes it extraordinary. Most 1990 pennies have a D or a P, indicating Denver or Philadelphia. But this one, it has nothing, not a single letter to mark where it came from. That tiny omission has made it one of the most sought-after pennies in the world. Imagine a room filled with coin collectors. Eyes widen, hearts race, as someone lifts a small, seemingly ordinary penny under a magnifying glass. The crowd leans in, whispers spread, and in that instant, everyone knows. This is no ordinary coin. This is the one that can turn a hobby into a fortune. A coin worth over $1 million. Now, let me guide you through what makes this penny so unique. First, look at the obverse, the front. It features Abraham Lincoln, as all Lincoln pennies do. But a trained eye notices subtle differences. The coin is from 1990. Look for fine details in Lincoln's profile. The date should be sharp, clear, and without doubling. Now turn it over to the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial. Examine the lines, the spacing, the tiniest imperfections. And remember, the absence of a mint mark is the golden clue. That missing letter is what transforms this common-looking penny into $1 million treasure. But the story doesn't end there. The rarity of this coin comes from a mysterious flaw at the mint. Experts still debate exactly how many were produced. Some say only a few dozen exist today. Others believe there could be more, waiting quietly in jars, drawers, or even between the pages of an old book. That uncertainty, the thrill of the unknown, is what makes collectors so desperate to find one. Imagine holding this penny. Imagine the weight of its history, the tension of its rarity. Every glance at it reminds you that luck, timing, and knowledge have aligned to create something extraordinary. A single coin could change a life forever, but here's where the story gets even more intense. Not every penny you see from 1990 is valuable. Some are common, easily overlooked, and sold for face value. That's why identification is crucial. To know if you're holding a potential million-dollar coin, inspect the date closely, confirm the absence of a mint mark, and study the details of Lincoln's features and the memorial. Every line matters. Every tiny imperfection is a clue. And yes, professional grading can confirm its authenticity and preserve its value. Collectors across the U.S. have paid thousands for just a glimpse of this penny. Dealers have traded it in private auctions, sometimes exchanging fortunes in quiet rooms. And everyday people, like you, could be holding one without knowing its true power. The excitement, the suspense, the potential. It's like discovering buried treasure in your own home. Even the smallest details matter. Look at the rim, the shine, the color of the metal. Copper tones can reveal circulation, cleaning, or even tampering. Every detail tells a story, and the story of the 1990 no mint mark penny is one of luck, rarity, and incredible opportunity. It's why people are willing to travel across states, spend hours sorting through rolls, and study minting errors to find this exact coin. Think about the moment you realize what you have. That first glance, that heartbeat when you see the date, the missing mint mark, the flawless lines. It's a rush unlike any other. A coin that most people toss aside could, in a single moment, redefine your life. Million-dollar possibilities hidden in something we call a penny. Collectors have learned patience, intuition, and attention to detail because of coins like this. They know that the difference between a common coin and a million-dollar coin can be imperceptibly small, a tiny missing letter, a subtle variation in the design. And that's the magic. That's the thrill. That's why coin collecting is as much about passion as it is about wealth. Some are in personal collections, carefully protected. Some are waiting in a jar on a kitchen counter. Some may be tucked in a drawer, forgotten, waiting for the right person to recognize its value. That's the mystery, the excitement, the opportunity. If you want to identify one yourself, here's what to do. Examine any 1990 penny you find. Look for the absence of a mint mark. Check the lines on Lincoln's coat, the shine, the condition. Compare it to verified examples. Learn to spot subtle variations. Every detail counts. And remember, this is not a hobby to rush. Patience can turn ordinary coins into million-dollar discoveries. Imagine showing it to a dealer, watching their eyes widen, feeling the tension in the room as they verify its authenticity. Every step, every verification, every moment is a thrill. A single coin could be the key to a life you've only dreamed about. The story of the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of suspense, mystery, and unimaginable value. Even if you don't have one, the legend of this coin inspires millions of collectors. It reminds us that extraordinary things can be hidden in plain sight. That luck, knowledge, and curiosity can transform the ordinary into something life-changing. And the best part? You don't need a secret map. You just need awareness, a keen eye, and a little bit of hope. The thrill of finding this penny is not just in the wealth it represents. It's in the story, the history, the feeling of discovery. Every collector dreams of it, every dealer respects it, and every coin enthusiast imagines holding it. And for a few lucky individuals, the dream becomes reality. Million-dollar dreams realized with a single coin in hand. As you go through your change, imagine this scenario. You reach into a jar, a drawer, or a pocket. Your fingers touch a penny. You see the date, 1990. No mint mark. Your heart skips a beat. Could this be the one? Could this tiny, copper coin be the key to unimaginable wealth? The moment of discovery, the shock, the excitement, it's real. And it could be yours. Collectors have risked time, effort, and money just for the chance to hold this penny. And now, you have the knowledge to identify it. The story, the method, the thrill, it's all in your hands. Imagine the doors it could open, the conversations it could start, and the life it could change. This is more than a coin. It's history, mystery, and fortune intertwined. A chance to discover something ordinary yet extraordinary. A 1-cent piece that can transform dreams into reality. A symbol that luck favors the prepared, that curiosity pays, and that ordinary things can hide extraordinary value. Yet, right here in the United States, there exists a penny from 2016, minted with a D mark, that has stunned collectors and dealers alike. This isn't just a coin. It's a secret, a treasure, and potentially the key to financial freedom, all wrapped in copper and zinc. Most people pass by pennies every single day without a second thought. They drop them into jars, leave them in drawers, or toss them in their cars. But among those millions of ordinary coins, there's one that carries a story unlike any other. A coin that could be worth as much as a house, a car, or even more. A staggering $1.20 million. It all begins in a quiet mint in Denver, where the 2016 D pennies were struck. On that ordinary day, a tiny, almost imperceptible error occurred. Something so subtle that only the most eagle-eyed collectors could notice. No one knew it at the time, but that small anomaly would turn an everyday penny into one of the most valuable coins in history. Collectors first noticed the anomaly when a few coins began appearing in online auctions, selling for thousands. The mint had made what is known as a die error, a slight imperfection in the stamping process. But this was no ordinary die error. It was a perfect alignment of rarity and historical significance. Coins with this anomaly began disappearing almost instantly into private collections, leaving only whispers in the collector community. If you're wondering how to spot this penny, listen closely. First, check the mint mark. The D is small, but its placement is everything. On a typical 2016 D Lincoln cent, the mint mark sits neatly under the date, perfectly aligned. But this rare coin? The mint mark shows slight doubling. Not easy to see with the naked eye, but obvious under magnification. Look for a tiny ghost-like shadow around the D. That shadow is your first clue. Next, examine the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. On these rare pennies, there's a faint doubling on the pillars, subtle, almost invisible unless you tilt the coin in the light. The detail is exquisite, a tiny fingerprint of history that distinguishes a $1 million coin from a regular penny. Now imagine the thrill of finding one in your pocket change. A coin so unassuming that no one would ever suspect it, yet carrying a value that could redefine your future. Dealers across the nation have confirmed that a genuine 2016 D penny with this error could sell for over $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1 million for a coin that looks like change. The backstory makes it even more incredible. In 2016, the mint produced billions of pennies, yet only a handful ever carried this anomaly. Experts believe that fewer than a dozen could exist in private hands today. Each coin carries a silent story, a whisper of fortune, and the possibility that someone like you could stumble upon it tomorrow. Collectors describe the feeling of holding this penny as indescribable. Your heart races. Your palms sweat. The realization hits. You are holding history, rarity, and unimaginable value all in one tiny object. Some have even compared it to finding a lost treasure chest buried in your backyard. But instead of gold coins or jewels, it's a penny. Simple, small, ordinary, until you know its secret. Identifying this coin isn't just about spotting the mint mark or doubling. It's about intuition, patience, and knowing what to look for. Hold the penny to the light. Rotate it slowly. Examine every detail. Even a minor deviation could signify millions. And once you've confirmed the anomaly, the world of high-stakes collecting opens to you. Collectors and dealers who would pay anything for a genuine example. Every 1 or 2 minutes, your attention should reset, because the story of this penny is like a thriller, every turn more unbelievable than the last. Imagine an unsuspecting retiree digging through an old jar of coins and discovering this exact error. One moment, ordinary coins. The next, $1 million discovery. It's enough to make even seasoned collectors gasp. Stories abound of auctions where the coin sold for prices that seemed unreal. Millions of dollars, exchanged over a small, unassuming piece of metal. Learning to identify it is your first step toward that possibility. Look closely at the date. Study the mint mark. Examine the doubling on the letters and the pillars. Compare it to images online from verified experts. Practice patience. Rare coins are rarely discovered in a hurry. And when you finally hold one, when the reality sinks in that you are in possession of something that most people only read about in magazines or see on television, the emotion is overwhelming. The coin is not just copper and zinc. It's a symbol of luck, history, and opportunity. It's proof that treasure can exist anywhere, even in the most mundane corners of life. Ordinary coin turns collector into millionaire. That's not fiction. That's history repeating itself again and again. And with the 2016 D penny, it could happen to you. Because despite the rarity, there's no magic preventing this coin from being in your hands. Dealers across the country are on constant alert. Collectors network and scan every jar, every bankroll, every drawer. They know the signs, and they know the stakes. A genuine 2016 D Lincoln cent with this specific error isn't just a coin. It's a ticket to unimaginable wealth, and the opportunity is still out there. The thrill is not just in the potential value. It's in the chase, the discovery, the story that unfolds when you uncover something so rare that the world stops to take notice. Imagine calling your friends, your family, or a collectors association and revealing your find. Their disbelief, their excitement. It's an emotion you'll never forget. This coin also teaches a lesson about life itself. Sometimes, extraordinary opportunities are hiding where you least expect them, right under your nose, in a jar of ordinary pennies, waiting for someone to recognize their value. And recognizing value is the first step toward realizing your own dreams of wealth, adventure, and the thrill of discovery. So, pay attention, be patient, learn the details, and remember, every ordinary penny you encounter carries the possibility of being extraordinary. Each time you check a roll of coins, inspect that spare change, or explore a jar that's been sitting untouched for years, you could be one step away from history. This is more than just a coin. It's an invitation to dream bigger, to believe in luck, timing, and the thrill of the hunt, to imagine a life-changing discovery waiting quietly in a drawer or on a countertop. And now, the moment of truth. The coin you've learned to identify, the one that carries the subtle doubling and the D mint mark anomaly, the one that has turned ordinary lives into millionaire stories. It could be closer than you think. But some pennies carry secrets, whispers of a rare mistake that collectors dream about. The 1991 Lincoln cent, the one without a mint mark, is not just a coin. It's a story of mystery, of chance, and of fortune lying quietly in your pocket. The year was 1991. The United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Thousands passed through registers, banks, and hands every day. Among these ordinary coins, an error occurred, a subtle difference so tiny most would never notice. But for those who know how to look, it's worth millions. Collectors across the country have discovered these coins in jars, drawers, even forgotten wallets. Some have walked past them, never realizing that they held the key to unimaginable wealth. And today, we'll teach you exactly what to look for. The coin is a 1991 Lincoln cent. It should be copper-colored, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right. But the defining factor, the clue that separates a $1 million penny from an everyday cent, is the missing mint mark. Most pennies of this year bear a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But some rare pennies were struck without a mint mark at all. This tiny omission makes all the difference. The absence of a mint mark is subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. But in the world of coin collecting, it is a silent signal of rarity. Hold the coin under bright light, tilt it, and examine the space below the date. If no letter appears, your coin could be one of the extremely rare varieties that collectors fight over. The story behind these pennies is as fascinating as the coins themselves. Imagine the minting process, the machines churning out thousands of coins every hour. Somewhere, a mint worker didn't load the correct die, or the press missed a step. Out of millions, only a few coins escaped with this tiny, almost invisible imperfection. And now, decades later, those few coins are worth fortunes. Every time someone finds a 1991 no mint mark penny, the news spreads like wildfire. Collectors are stunned, dealers scramble, and fortunes are quietly transferred from one hand to another. And yet, the coin itself remains humble. It looks just like the pennies in your pocket. Only the careful, curious, and lucky few notice its hidden value. To make it even more fascinating, Not all no mint mark pennies are created equal. Condition matters. A coin free of scratches, wear, or discoloration is exponentially more valuable. Even tiny imperfections can reduce its market value drastically. So, when examining your coins, look for sharp details. The lines in Lincoln's coat, the definition of his hair, the clarity of the date. This is where patience becomes power. Sort through jars, examine rolls of pennies, and handle each coin with care. The thrill isn't just in the discovery, it's in the hunt. And when you find that perfect coin, the one that matches the rare characteristics we've described, the realization hits. This penny could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. $1 million realization, literally held in your palm. Stories of collectors discovering these coins are nothing short of cinematic. One man found a 1991 no-mint mark penny under a pile of change he'd ignored for years. Another woman discovered hers tucked in a drawer, forgotten since her childhood. Both of them were stunned when dealers confirmed the value, over $1 million. Lives changed instantly. Dreams that seemed distant became reality. Understanding the coin, knowing what to look for, makes the difference between seeing a regular penny and recognizing a hidden treasure. Examine the edges, the color, the date, and most importantly, the missing mint mark. Train your eyes to spot anomalies, and suddenly, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Imagine the excitement as you slide a coin from your collection across the table and a dealer gasps. The tension, the disbelief, the sudden recognition of value, all culminating in a single, life-changing moment. That moment could be yours. The thrill of discovery, the surge of possibility, is the reason collectors never stop searching. That tension keeps collectors awake at night, digging through rolls, examining coins, following every lead. And for those who succeed, the reward is spectacular, not just in wealth, but in the story they now carry. It must be a 1991 Lincoln cent, copper in color, with no mint mark below the date. Look closely under light. Condition matters. Avoid scratches, discoloration, and wear. Compare with standard coins from Denver or San Francisco. Every small detail can reveal its authenticity, that it's not just the money. It's the story of finding something rare, something that has been overlooked for decades. The 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny embodies the excitement of possibility, the thrill of discovery, and the tangible proof that sometimes incredible fortune lies hidden in plain sight. Imagine telling your friends or family that a single penny you held all these years is now worth over $1 million. Imagine the disbelief, the astonishment, the sheer joy. That is the power of this coin. Humble in appearance, extraordinary in reality. Collectors continue to search, driven by stories of million-dollar discoveries. Every jar of pennies holds potential. Every overlooked roll could hide a secret. And among the millions of pennies minted in 1991, only a few carry this secret, this hidden value waiting to be uncovered. The emotional pull of the hunt is undeniable. It's more than money. It's the thrill, the suspense, the story of uncovering something the world has overlooked. For decades, these coins sat unnoticed, only now stepping into the spotlight. And once you see it, you'll understand why collectors become obsessed, why every jar and drawer is examined with hope and anticipation. Right now, it could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change. What if I told you that a simple Lincoln penny from 1993, with no mint mark, is at the center of one of the most shocking discoveries in coin collecting history? Collectors are calling it the miracle penny, and dealers are scrambling to find even one. That this isn't just a story about money. It's a story about discovery, luck, and the incredible thrill of finding something extraordinary where you least expect it. A coin that, at first glance, looks ordinary, but in reality, could change your life forever. Back in 1993, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. Most were destined for wallets, cash registers, and coin jars, never to see the light of a collector's display. But a tiny fraction of these coins contains a secret that has only recently been uncovered. A penny struck without a mint mark. Normally, 1993 pennies carry either a D for Denver or a S for San Francisco. But a few rare coins slip through the cracks, coins with no mint mark at all. To the untrained eye, they look identical to any other penny. But collectors who know the details see a potential treasure worth over $1 million. Imagine holding one. Imagine the weight of history in your hand. Every line on Lincoln's face, every detail of the wheat reverse, suddenly becomes part of a story that could make you richer than you've ever imagined. $1 million coin, they whisper. And it's not exaggeration. This isn't a rumor. It's real, verified by top grading companies. First, check the obverse, the side with Lincoln's face. Normally, you'd see the mint mark just below the date. On this rare penny, there's nothing. Zero. It's as if the mint accidentally skipped a step, a small error that makes this coin infinitely valuable. Next, look at the quality. These coins are usually found in circulated condition, but the rare, uncirculated examples are worth millions. Pay attention to the copper's shine, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, and the crispness of the reverse wheat lines. Even slight wear reduces the value, but finding one in pristine condition? That's where the $1 million mark comes alive. Collectors report a strange thrill when they first see one. It's almost impossible to describe. Your heart races. Your hands tremble. You realize that something most people overlook every day, a single cent, could actually be worth more than many houses. The backstory makes it even more mysterious. Some coins left the mint improperly marked, and while most were melted down, a few survived in circulation. How many exist? No one knows exactly. Some experts estimate fewer than a handful. Some say only a single coin may have reached public hands in perfect condition. And those who have seen it up close describe an almost magical aura around it. Imagine digging through a jar of pennies from the 1990s. You see a familiar Lincoln face. Reach for it. And then, nothing where the mint mark should be. You stop breathing. Your eyes widen. Could it be real? Could this ordinary penny really be a $1 million treasure in disguise? Experts caution collectors to be careful. Counterfeits exist. The best way to confirm authenticity is through professional grading. Companies like PCGS and NGC have authenticated these coins and documented sales in the seven-figure range. Seeing one certified in hand is like witnessing history. $1 million, they whisper again, almost reverently. Now, here's a little-known secret. Not every no-mint mark 1993 penny is valuable. The coin must have a perfect strike, no post-mint damage, and the copper must be original. Tiny scratches, discoloration, or cleaning can reduce its value dramatically. That's why every detail matters when you hold this coin in your hand. Collectors who found these coins describe a moment of disbelief. They thought it was impossible. They thought they were imagining things. And then they checked the date. 1993, no mint mark. Their lives changed instantly. The suspense doesn't end there. The rarity is compounded by the fact that most of these coins were used in everyday transactions. People spent them on groceries, tipped them at diners, even lost them under couch cushions. That means some of these coins could be anywhere, literally anywhere, waiting for someone lucky enough to recognize them. And that's the real magic of coin collecting. Ordinary objects transformed into treasures. Moments of luck turned into life-changing discoveries. A hobby that seems simple, even mundane, can hold the power to make dreams real. Yes, a single, humble 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny, with no mint mark, hiding in plain sight, has the power to change someone's life forever. This isn't a story about some distant collector or a faraway auction. This is about the coin that could be in your pocket right now. But first, let's step back. It begins with a printing error so rare that experts have described it as almost impossible. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most coins bore their respective mint mark, but the Philadelphia no mint mark coins were supposed to be standard. Almost all were. But a tiny fraction emerged from the press with subtle anomalies. Anomalies that today make them worth up to $1.50 million to decades of pennies rolling through pockets, cash registers, and jars. And among them, this rare 1981 penny quietly slipped by, unnoticed, hiding in plain sight. Collectors describe it as the phantom penny. No one expects it. It's not flashy. Yet, if you hold it under the light, you can see the difference. The weight is just a fraction off, the copper tone subtly distinct, the lines on Lincoln's bust almost too precise, too sharp. That's where the magic is. It only takes one person finding this coin to create a ripple that shakes the entire coin-collecting world. Dealers have fought for less rare coins. Imagine what happens when someone discovers a 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny in perfect condition. Start by looking for the mint mark, or, in this case, the absence of one. The coin should have no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. Next, inspect the copper surface. This coin's hue is slightly different from its standard cousins, brighter, almost glimmering in the right light. Run your fingers over Lincoln's face. The details will be astonishingly crisp, almost like the coin was frozen in time. Now, here's where most people miss it. Most ordinary 1981 pennies show slight, wear, flattened features, or minor scratches. This rare penny? It has none. Its edges are perfectly round. Its ridges are sharp. It almost seems untouched by human hands. And that perfection, collectors say, is why it can reach prices that defy imagination. Up to $1.5 million at auction. Imagine opening a jar of coins tonight. One by one, you sift through ordinary pennies. Nothing special. Then, your fingers brush against a penny that catches the light differently. You pick it up, and in that instant, you feel a chill. But there's more. This coin isn't just about money. It's about history. Every line on Lincoln's bust, every detail on the reverse, tells a story. A story of American craftsmanship, of a minting process that usually produces millions of identical coins, but occasionally, in a twist of fate, produces perfection. That twist of fate, that anomaly, is what makes this penny legendary. If you want to identify it with certainty, pay attention to subtle markers. Examine the date closely. The 1981 engraving on this rare penny is slightly off-center in some cases. Look at the rim. It's subtly sharper than usual. Even tiny scratches or deviations that seem like imperfections to an untrained eye could indicate authenticity. Experts advise using a magnifying glass under strong light. Small details can mean the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Think about the lives changed by coins like this. People who stumbled upon a rare find in their collection, unaware they were holding a million-dollar treasure. That feeling, the excitement, disbelief, and joy, is why collectors spend decades studying, searching, and hoping. And now, that feeling could be yours. That it's easy to overlook pennies. We toss them into jars or wallets without a second thought. But the universe of coin collecting is full of surprises. Ordinary coins can become legendary overnight. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example. It doesn't scream for attention, but when you know what to look for, it's unmistakable. Even professional collectors admit they've been shocked by what they've seen. They describe moments of disbelief when they realize they're holding a coin worth millions. The rarity, the perfection, the untouched quality. It's enough to stop your heart for a moment. Remember, finding this coin isn't just about luck. It's about patience, knowledge, and awareness. Knowing what to look for. Examining coins closely. Appreciating the tiniest differences. Because one day, that diligence could reward you with unimaginable fortune. Collectors who have sold similar coins describe the process as surreal. Auction rooms silent in anticipation. Bids climbing to 6 figures, 7 figures, even more. And then, just like that, a single penny can change the life of someone who recognized its value before anyone else did. If you're watching this now, consider the possibilities in your own collection. Go through your pennies. Examine every detail. Feel the edges. Inspect the date. Check the surface. That's how million-dollar discoveries begin. With attention, with curiosity, and with belief. Some say it's not just about the money. They're right. It's about being part of history, about holding something that others have overlooked. It's about that incredible moment when the ordinary becomes extraordinary. You don't have to travel far. You don't have to search for years. The coin could be right where you left it, tucked away in a drawer, in a jar, or even forgotten in your wallet. Every ordinary penny you see could be hiding something extraordinary. The thrill, the suspense, the possibility. It's what drives collectors to keep searching, to keep examining, to keep believing. Because the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a legend, a secret, a miracle waiting to be discovered. Imagine holding it in your hand, feeling the smooth edges, seeing the crisp details, knowing that every other coin looks ordinary. But this one is worth a fortune. Not just hundreds or thousands, millions. Time has a way of hiding treasures in plain sight. Coins pass through countless hands, through decades, unnoticed. But occasionally, someone pays attention. Someone recognizes what others miss. And that someone could be you. Think about it. A penny, overlooked by millions, suddenly transforming into a life-changing discovery. That's the power of the 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. It's more than copper. It's more than currency. It's a key to possibility. The excitement is real. The suspense is real. The opportunity is real. And it's all in something you might consider ordinary.